Welcome to Chapter 4, the marketing environment. When we discuss the external marketing environment, perhaps the most important decisions a marketing manager must make is related to the creation of the marketing mix. A marketing mix is the unique combination of the four P's, remember: product, place, promotion, and price. The marketing mix is under the firm's control and is designed to appeal to a specific group of potential buyers, or in other words, the target market. A company's target market is a group of people or organizations for which an organization designs, implements, and maintains the marketing mix intended to meet their needs, resulting in mutually satisfying exchanges. So when we talk about segmentation and choosing a target market, we're not only talking about advertising, we're talking about the rest of the marketing mix too. How to price it for that target group, how to get it to that target group, how to obviously promote it to that target group, and the actual product itself. So let's talk about understanding the current customers and desires of potential customers. So the firm must understand its target market's needs and desires by age segment. This helps companies develop promotional elements, helps retain existing customers, and it helps acquire new customers. Understanding how a consumer makes decisions in a rapidly changing environment is also important. Successful businesses realize that creating value for the customer is the key to larger profits and a bigger market share. A rapidly changing business environment and continually evolving technology makes understanding consumer decision-making critical to long-run success. And today, companies must operate in an environment that is becoming more demographically diverse, with customer needs and expectations becoming more individual, and the requirement of ethnic groups more distinct, because America is becoming a more and more of a melting pot of different groups of ethnicities. Identifying the most valuable customers and understanding their needs. Often 20% of a firm's customers produce 80% of the firm's revenue. So when we talk about a target market and a target market making up a certain percentage of your business, it's important to note that 20% of a firm's customers make up 80% of their revenue. It's also important that we understand the competitors and the competition in an attempt to forecast future moves. Competitors threaten a firm's market share, its profitability, and really its very existence as a company. Social factors also affect a company and a firm. Social factors influence the products people buy, prices paid for those products, the effectiveness of promotions, how, where, and when people expect to purchase products. Think about your friends and family. They affect your purchases of products. I grew up in a Ford family. I already had a very distinct acceptance of Ford automobiles as opposed to another different brand. It's kind of funny how my family had an effect on my future purchases before I was even driving age. And a lot of times friends also have such a influence, because it's important to note that friends can influence exactly what type of products that you buy. So much so that influencer marketing and social media is built upon this concept that you follow and are social media friends with somebody, and they start posting it online, and you want to be more like them and emulate them. That's why sometimes it's more effective to do influencer marketing than to pay for advertising. A person's values are key determinants of what's important and not important, what actions they take or don't take, and how one behaves in social situations. People typically form values through interactions with family, friends, and other influencers such as teachers, religious leaders, and politicians. And values do influence our buying habits. The growth of component lifestyles. A component lifestyle is the practice of choosing goods and services that meet one's diverse needs and interests rather than conforming to a single traditional lifestyle. It's important to note that component lifestyles increase in complexity of consumers' buying habits. Social media has greatly changed our behavior, especially when it comes to social factors, because we are more in touch with our friends and family than ever before. Social media has basically changed the way that we communicate, keep track of our friends and family, browse for products and services, and also make purchases. Some demographic factors that come into play. Demography is the study of people's vital statistics such as age, race, ethnicity, and location. Demographic characteristics are strongly related to consumer buying behavior and is the most often form of segmentation when you're talking about your target markets and segments. Population is basically all the people that are directly or indirectly the basis of all markets, making population the most basic statistic in marketing. Different age groups present opportunities to focus on a section of the population to offer opportunities for marketers. In class, we were talking about segmenting into smaller subsets of the population. These group of individuals for your products and services are often most grouped together by age. And the most common grouping of age groups are the ones that are listed below. We know them as tweens, teens, millennials, Generation X, and baby boomers. Tweens are those individuals that are aged 10 to 13. They're right in between being a child and being a teenager. Obviously, teens are in their teenage years. Millennials are those individuals that are usually born between 1980 and 1994. Although various other people say, various other marketing agencies say 82 is the start of the millennials. We'll go with the textbook and say that 80 is the start of millennials till 94. In addition, Generation X, which is the generation I belong to, is 1960 to 1979. Those are usually Generation X. And then we have the baby boomers, and this represents our senior community right now. Those are the people that are born between 1945 and 1960. They're called the baby boomers because after World War II, everybody came back from the war, and that's when they started their family, and that's where really when there was a boom in babies. America's tweens, like I said, are between 9 and 12, and they account for more than 20 million. Generation Z are people born between 95 and 2010. Most college students, traditional college students, are born between 95 and 2010. Millennials, I fall right there. Actually, I'm a little bit before a millennial. I'm considered Generation X, but I'll consider myself Generation X for this discussion. But millennials are born typically between 1980 and 1994. Generation X is born between 1965 and 78. I've seen some saying 1960. That's why I said that earlier. And then we have baby boomers, and these are our seniors born between 1945 and 1964. In addition to knowing age and of our markets, ethnicity is becoming more and more important. One of the fastest growing ethnicity in the United States is the Hispanic. By 2045, non-Hispanic whites will make up less than 50% of the population. Hispanic Americans account for more than 58 million here in the United States and are the largest U.S. minority. Most Hispanics in the United States were actually born here, and the average age of the Hispanic population is 28 years old. 41% are English dominant, and 40% are bilingual. So it makes up a large majority of our ethnic community. They're a very powerful group too because they spend more than $95 billion on consumer packaged goods. They're the largest group to use mobile devices, and they are heavy social media users. When we talk about economic factors, three economic areas are our greatest concern are consumer incomes, inflation, and recession. So the first part that when we're identifying target market, obviously, is take a look at demographics, including ethnicity, age, and different items like that. Consumer income is another important aspect of a marketers have to be concerned with. Then we have inflation and recession. Purchasing power is a comparison of income versus the relative cost of a standard set of goods and services in certain geographic area. Purchase power varies substantially from state to state, community to community. And when income is high relative to the cost of living, people have more liquid cash or discretionary income to spend. Inflation is a measure of decrease in the value of money expressed as a percentage reduction in value from the previous year. Recession is a period of economic activity characterized by negative growth, which results in a demand for goods, or which reduces the demand for services and goods. You may remember we were in a recession back in 2008 caused by the housing market collapse and the automobile manufacturer collapse. There are political and legal factors that affect our overall economy and marketing initiatives. It's important to know that businesses need to look at government regulation. It's important for government to protect innovators of new technology and interests of society in general. Government needs businesses because the marketplace generates taxes, and every aspect of the marketing mix is subject to laws and restrictions. There are really four federal agencies that have the most effect on our goods and services. They are the CPSC, which is the Consumer Product and Safety Commission, the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration. The Consumer Product Safety Commission, established to protect the health and safety of consumers in and around their homes. The FDA has the authority to enforce regulations against selling and distributing misbranded or hazardous food and drug products. And finally, the FTC, their goal is to prevent persons or corporations from using unfair methods in competition and commerce. Over the years, the FTC has grown so large that it has several bureaus to help better organize its operation. The Bureau of Economics, the Bureau of Consumer Protection, and the Bureau of Competition. This has been Chapter 4. Please finish reading Chapter 4 and complete the this week's assigned quiz.